Hello everyone, good morning. So in today's class we will be talking about Western versus Indian management. So before understanding the Western and the Indian management, we need to understand the culture, the role of culture in determining the people who live in the society. So the people who live in the society are being influenced by various factors. And the first one is the traditions what they follow, their attitude towards religion or their belief system towards religion, their opinion about politics and the people who rule them, and their love and affection for art and literature, their ideologies, that is their philosophies, their opinion about science and technology or the impact of science and technology on that particular society, how far the scientific inventions affect that particular society, how many scientific inventions are being brought on by that particular society, and more importantly, the ethical values what the people have in that particular society that influence the managerial system in that particular country. So Indian or Western management is also being determined by certain personal factors like age, education, social class, organization, etc. And here in this video, we will be talking about West in the color which is being represented by the color blue, and East which is being represented by the color red. So we'll be talking about them. So in West, me, that is I or me, is being given more importance. They give more importance to themselves and they are more egoistic. Whereas in terms of Indian management part of it, that is the Eastern management part of it, me is being given less importance. People are not giving more importance to themselves, rather they give more importance to others too. And then the way of life, it is highly individualistic, as we have seen earlier. In the West, the way of life is highly individualistic. They give more importance to an individual, to themselves, and they are self-centric. Whereas in an Indian environment part of it, it is a group. People always believe in group rather than as an individual. And the self-expression, they are very clear in terms of West, but whereas here we are highly confused. It is a mingled type of self-expression in terms of Indian. And this is the most important thing, punctuality. Whenever they say 10 o'clock or 12 o'clock, they mean it. The office starts by 10 means they will be there in the office by 10. Whereas in India, this is the most problematic thing. If they say 12 o'clock, then it might be 1 or 2 or 12:15, 12:30, anything according to the convenience of the individual. So punctuality, time is not being given more importance. Maintaining time is not being given more importance. This is the most problematic thing in Indian management. And especially in government offices, you could have seen this. In government offices, actually the office timing starts by 10 o'clock and gets over by 5, but people will not be available in the seat even by 11 o'clock. And even if they come by 11 o'clock, they will sit in the seat for 10 to 15 minutes and again they will go for a break, and then again they will come by 12 or something like that. Again they go for lunch break. So most of the time people are not regular, they are not punctual. This is the most problematic thing in India, and this is also one of the reasons why India is still developing. There is no paucity of skill set, but the problem is we don't maintain time. That's a problem. We don't value time, we don't value our own time, we don't value the time of rest of the people also. This is the most problematic thing. Next one is connections. In terms of West, the connections are limited, whereas in terms of India, the connections are there. Each and every individual is being connected with so many others. So that is the thing in terms of India. And in terms of anger, people will show it very point blank in terms of West, whereas that is not being shown very clearly in terms of India. Um, Falling in line, when people have to stand in a queue or something like that, they will always fall in line, they will also obey. Whereas in terms of India, people will never fall in line in terms of it is always a group attitude part of it, group mentality, herd mentality we call it. So there is nothing like that. When people are being asked to stand in a line, they will not fall in line. They will. It is always a congested thing, uh, not obeying, so like that. And that's the reason why traffic rules are being not being followed very strictly here in India, and the reason for so many accidents also, that is the reason. And in terms of partying, uh, one individual will meet two or three individuals in terms of rest. Whereas here in India, partying means the entire crowd meets each other. Uh, so that's a part of thing in terms of partying here in India. And 3 meals a day, they will have a good lunch there in the West, but 3 meals a day here in India means we eat full 3 meals and always hot. That is, we always prefer food which is being cooked, and we always eat them. And so that's the thing. We give more importance to food. We spend more time in cooking. We spend more time in eating too. And in terms of restaurants, it is not overcrowded, might be uh, because of their population part of it. And whereas in terms of restaurants here in India, it is always overcrowded, and it is having more number of people. On weekends also, the number of people are less, as we have seen it earlier, the population being one of the reason. Weekends, during weekends and all, there will be huge number of people, and so that's the thing. And transport part of it in 1970s and right now, what US and other countries, developed countries have done is they were having cars in the 70s, and now as they're health conscious, they are using cycles. But what happened here in terms of India, earlier we were using more of cycles, and now we are using more of car. So we have moved away from that health consciousness, and that's the reason why government is giving cycles to the children. And even in many organizations, in many colleges and other universities, cycles are being given to students to move from one place to another. There are reasons. One is environment part of it. The environment will not get polluted. Number two is health-wise also it's good for them. It's a good exercise. Cycling is a good exercise. So, on two reasons, now in many colleges and universities, which are being scattered and in acres, that students are being allowed to use bicycles. So that is the need of the hour, and we need to do it. And probably the petrol consumption will also be less, and it is also health-wise also it is good. And shower time, normally they do it in the morning. For us, the shower time could also be evening, because our climate is like that, weather condition is like that. And weather, actually when it is going to be sun, they smile, and when it's going to be rain, they feel bad. Whereas here in India, for both sun and rain, we feel happy. And because we are in need of rain, and we love water, we pray to water too. And new things, normally they are not that very attached to new things. Whereas here in India, whenever things are new, we hold them quietly. And travel, they want to move out and they want to see. Whereas here we are more interested in going for camera and other things, and try to record things, share it with our friends. So that's the thing. And seniors' daily life there in abroad, what they do is they take a pet animal for a walk. Whereas here in India, senior citizens, they always take their grandchildren along with them, and they take care of the grandchildren. When people become old, they take care of their grandchildren. And child or baby is just being considered as one one among them, and they are left. They are being brought up in a very independent way. Whereas here in India, child is being cared by many, by the grandparents, maternal and paternal grandparents. They are being cared. The child is being given more importance in Indian families, and beauty again. Okay, and confronting a problem, normally in terms of West, they prefer to confront a problem. That is, they want to have the challenge, they want to learn out of it. Whereas here in India, we want to move away from the problem. We are not interested, because that is our philosophy part of it. We are not interested in facing the problem, but rather we want to avoid it. We want to move away from the problem. So this is the way in which we do. And in terms of boss management, boss is being considered as an equal in terms of Western countries, and they call their boss by name, and that's how their philosophy is, the way in which the culture is. Whereas here in India, what happens is boss is being treated as a superior, and we need to call the boss as sir or madam, whatever it be. We need to call them with respect. They are being viewed as a superior person here in Indian management. And the cultural differences in terms of logic, how people think. It is a type of spiral here in India, whereas it is direct or linear in terms of West. And in terms of communication, here we always communicate in an indirect or in an implied way, whereas they directly communicate, and they communicate in a verbal way. The identity is always towards group orientation, whereas the identity is individual or independent. And the agreement or disagreement part of it, Indians never like to say no, and we are not interested in it. Whereas in the West, they are very clear, they are argumentative, they are verbal, they also say no. And punctuality is always flexible here in India, we don't keep up time. Whereas there in the West, the meeting starts and ends on time, which is very important. And respect, we give more respect to the seniors and for the knowledge part of it. Whereas in the West, they give more importance to success, not for age, but for success and also for achievement. People who achieve things are being prized, not for their knowledge level. And business relationships comes first, whereas for them it is the money which is more important rather than relationship. And in decision making, a manager will make the final decision, although he might consult his subordinates or her subordinates. Whereas decision making is proactive, taken well in advance in terms of risk. And time horizon, always people think about long term, years ahead, and we always think about the future and in the long term. Whereas there in the West, it is short term, and it is always they are more bothered about 3 months or 6 months performance rather than long term. And risk or spending, we always try to avoid risk, and we always prefer to save money, and that is what India is being called as a saving economy. People always love to save. When a person earns salary, the first thing what they do, they save money. Whereas in terms of West, the basic thing is they are risk takers, spend money. They are being called as a spending economy. What they do is they spend money, and then they earn the money and repay their loans. That's what they do over there. But normally here in India, our basic habit is saving money, and we are not interested in spending money unnecessarily. The moment a person gets salary, the first thing what they need to do is they need to have a saving part of it. So these are the basic differences between West and the East, and the management part of it we will be seeing it little later. Thank you.